Hi there. Would you like to learn how to make your mundane carrots into these scrumptious, sweet, delicious treats that your guests and your family are going to love? Well, just stay tuned for our next episode of Hilltop Stovetop. Welcome back to Hilltop Stovetop, the show where we're teaching you how to make great meals in an ordinary kitchen. Today we're doing bacon-wrapped carrots with a little bit of maple syrup on them. And I know that your guests and your family are going to love these. They're really quite easy to make. Could be a fun thing to get the kids to help you out with. All you need is basically 3 ingredients. Your lowly carrot, some bacon strips, and some maple syrup. Today I'm going to be using the air fryer to make these, but they do work equally well, maybe even a little bit better in the oven, but I wanted to do this as a comparison. It's also a little bit easier for you to see in the air fryer how things are progressing. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to start off with some carrots. Now what I've done here is I've just peeled them. I've cut them to the length that they fit on the tray for the air fryer. If I was putting them in the oven, I'd put them in a flat casserole kind of a dish. And again, make sure that they're going to fit into there. And then all you do is you take your bacon, and it's for each carrot, you need 2 strips of bacon, but you allow at least 1 carrot per person, maybe even more than that, because what you'll find is that people actually come back for seconds on these. So you're going to start off with your bacon, and you're just wrapping it around, overlapping it a little bit at the top to hang on to that edge. And then when you go to do your second piece, you're going to overlap that over the first one. And again, wrap it quite tightly, and that just nicely makes it to the end of the carrot. And then we're just going to pop it on the rack. And there's room on this rack for 3. My air fryer has 2 racks, so we're going to do both of those, or actually I'm just going to do up one. And then we're going to put it in the air fryer for 15 minutes at 350. Again, if you were doing it in your oven, 15 minutes at 350 in a flat casserole dish. And then we'll take it out and turn them over, and we'll be right back. Okay, so we're 15 minutes in to the cooking process, and we'll just open this up and have a look. They're starting to brown a little bit. If you were doing this in the oven, this would be a point where you would pour off any excess fat. Because I'm doing this in the air fryer, of course, the fat is just dripped down to the bottom. But I am going to turn them over, and just be sure when you're turning them that you've sort of got the right twist, because otherwise the bacon wants to undo itself. And again, I'm just going to make sure that you realize that when you are in the oven, if it's getting to be too much fat in the bottom, drain it off now, because that's going to make it that it browns a lot better. So we're going to pop that in, give it another 15 minutes, and then we'll be ready for just that last finishing touch. So let's just see, what do we do? And again, it's still at 350. Start it up, and we'll see you in 15 minutes. Okay, so our 15 minutes is just about up. While we were waiting, I've taken the second rack out of my air fryer, and I've covered it with just a little piece of aluminum foil, which I've oiled, because for the next part, that's where we're going to put the maple syrup on, and I don't want any of that dripping through. If you were cooking these in the oven, you wouldn't need to do this part of it, because you've already got it in a casserole dish that is going to hold the maple syrup in place. But we're ready when this is, when the 1 minute is up, and we'll be ready for the next stage. And There we go, perfect timing. I'm gonna open it up. And there they go, they're starting to brown up very nicely. But one thing we want to check right now, I'm just going to take a fork and I'm just going to poke it into the thickest part. So this is the biggest one of the carrots. It's still a little underdone on the very, very end, but the other two are in good shape. Close enough that this will still be firm and will be fine. I will put that one in the middle because it seems to cook a little faster in that position. And then I'm going to take our wonderful maple syrup from Mapleside Sugar Bush in Rankin, Ontario. And I'm just going to do just a tiniest little dribble, maybe total half a teaspoon per length of carrot. Not even that much. It doesn't take much to do this. Of course, if you were doing this in the oven before you got to putting the maple syrup on, you would drain off any excess fat. That's really important because otherwise it would just dilute the maple syrup. And we're going to pop this back, and I'm going to give it another 5 minutes. Given how brown these are already and the carrots are almost done, that should be about all we need. Okay, so our final 5 minutes is just about up. I'm just going to have a quick look in here. Yeah, I think we're done. And so we don't want to overdo these because once you put the maple syrup on, anytime you're adding that sweetness, that's when it's going to brown and potentially burn quite quickly. So there we have it, folks. Look at that. And I'm just going to hopefully get a nice little close-up of that where you can see the sizzling goodness. It's sweet, it's delicious. I've given these to people that don't even like vegetables, and they think they're the most amazing thing. If you cut it right, you might even fool your kids into thinking that they're getting a hot dog instead of a carrot. But I mean, that might be pushing it a little bit. Anyway, regardless, this is the best carrots that you're ever going to have. If you don't have maple syrup, and that's the good quality real maple syrup, I think you could probably get away with this just putting a little bit of brown sugar on them, but maple syrup really does make it the best. So I hope that you've enjoyed today's episode of Hilltop Stovetop, where we made bacon wrapped carrots. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. And if you do have something that you'd like to learn how to cook, by all means, let me know. And we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye for now.